Hi everybody, welcome to the Art of Guitar. Today is going to be awesome because I'm going to prove to you that you can learn the CAGED system by just learning one form that you probably already know, but now you're going to know it in a whole different way. So you'll be able to understand the concept of CAGED by the end of this lesson and start to apply it right away. So let's go ahead and play a chord that I believe we should all know by now. If you don't, you can go to my introductory lesson that I put on YouTube a while ago. It hit like 12 million views. It's crazy, but it'll really get you started on the basics. Okay, so let's play E major. I'm gonna be referring to this shape as the fourth form, by the way. I'll explain why later. But right now, let's just play this familiar shape and then bring it up on a chord chart. This is so important. So you're gonna see 6 dots. So you might think that you're playing 6 notes, but you're really only playing 3 because some of them are repeating. We have E, B, E, G sharp, B, and E. How you create a chord is an awesome lesson, but I'm going to leave that for the website because right now it's not the most important thing to learn. It's just going to be today more about the form and how to implement it. So what I really want you to focus on are the 3 E's, the 3 root notes, because we're playing E major here. So we have E, E, and E. You see how that creates kind of a triangle shape? A lot of people like to visualize it like that. Now what we can do is we can recreate this shape with your other 3 fingers fretting. Here's why we're going to do that, because I want you to move every single one of those dots towards you by 1 fret. So we have the E major right here, right? Using the 4th form. Now, if I want to bring everything, including the open string notes, forward towards you, you can't just pull this forward like that. Seems like you could, but you're leaving the open strings behind. So you need some finger to bar across to play those. That's where bar chords are going to come into play. You don't have to play bar chords, by the way, to do this. You just have to be able to visualize it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate the E major using these 3 fingers. And then as I pull these towards me, I'm going to bar across at the 1st fret, which is going to bring those open string notes forward as well. So you get this. That is an F major chord. So it's still using the same form, the 4th form. It's just now it's a fretted version of everything. So if I push it back now to where it was, you're back to the open version of the E major using the 4th form. If I pull it towards myself and bar, that's F major using the 4th form. Here's the best part. I already can play 12 chords now using this concept. So if I bring it up another fret, it's F sharp major. Another one, it's G major. G sharp major, A sharp major, B major, so on as you go up. If you go all the way up to the 12th fret, you'll hit E octave. So you went from open E all the way to the 12th fret E. That's going to be 12 chords altogether. And that's using just one form to play those 12 chords just by moving to whatever fret you need. By the way, you do need to know what the notes are going up the string, at least the 6th string today. So E, F, F sharp, G, and so on. I love teaching that a certain way. It's on the website. If you hear fireworks right now, it's because it's the 4th of July. I should be out like enjoying the fireworks, but I really wanted to make this lesson. So you might hear something in the background like that. Okay, let's say somebody wants you to play a B major chord using the 4th form. Well, you could start an open, but by now you can go right to the barred version just to save yourself some time. Let's keep moving it up until we get to B. So we have F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B right here at the 7th fret. That's B major right there using the 4th form. Now what I want you to do is know that you could do that with any of the 12 chords, but we're going to actually add a scale to it now as well. So if we go from the first root note to the next root note that we play, and connect it using a scale shape like this. That's B major right there. You just played a B major scale by connecting the 2 root notes. Isn't that cool? I'm going fast just to give you the idea though. You don't have to play it with me today, but it's going to be exciting when you could pull this off. You could also connect the 2nd and the 3rd roots right here. Isn't that great? That's what I love about the 4th form. There are 3 root tones in it, so you could really go crazy. If you connect them, you could also play major pentatonic if you want. So So if you put a backing track on, let's say a YouTube backing track, and it says B major, just solo, you could use those scales. Now, if all of a sudden you go to a different backing track and it's G major, just move to where your first root note is G, so 3rd fret. You can play the chord. Now connect the root notes. So not only can you play 12 major chords just by using that one form, you could play 12 major scales using that form as well. All this is still in the 4th form domain. Now it gets even better. Let's go back to our original spot here. E major, the 4th form, open. To make that minor, a lot of people know you just need to lift up your index finger. Okay, now it's the sad version, right? Sometimes people don't realize that you're not just lifting your finger up. What you're doing is you're taking the note that you were playing, which is G sharp. When you lift up, it's just moving back to the open string. So it's just moving back 1 fret. It's funny what one note can do to the quality of a chord. Well, now if you fret that with your ring finger and pinky, bar across and move up, now we have F minor. Move up again, we have F sharp minor, a very common chord. G minor, G sharp minor, A minor, A sharp minor, and so on. Okay, let's just go to B again, but this time we're going to use the minor form. Still the 4th form, by the way. A lot of people get confused. You can do major and minor in these forms. So now we have the 4th form minor in the key of B. If I connect the root notes, which by the way are going to be the same root notes as the major, but the shape now of the scale is going to be different because it's going to be minor tonality. So it's going to be this. We go over all the formulas for the scales on the website, so you could check it out there if you want to really learn the ins and outs of the scale. 2nd octave would be this. So if you put it together, you have the full minor scale. You also have the minor pentatonic, which is the #1 scale ever. So I'm still connecting using those root tones. I went a little bit above the 3rd root tone that time, but I just wanted to show you that you can extend it a little bit as well. That's how you get all the classic licks, by the way. So you just did the B minor chord in the 4th form, also the full minor scale and the full pentatonic scale. Even if you didn't do it, you saw me do it, so you hopefully understand that that's possible. What if you bring up a backing track, and it's a very familiar key, by the way, A minor? It's easy. Just move back to where A is, which is the 5th fret. Play the chord first, just to get the idea. Now let's say you just want to do the minor pentatonic. Okay. Guess what you have? You have Stairway to Heaven right there if you want. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the major world to explain the reason why I use numbers instead of saying the E shape all the time. The reason why is because it's confusing to people and to me to say, let's play G major using the E shape. I don't like using 2 letters like that. I'd rather say, let's play G major using the 4th form. Seems to really connect with people when they think of it that way. Less confusion, especially when we start using the other form names. If I said like, let's play F using C, let's play D using A, it would get really crazy. But if you instead use the numbering system, it will really click, I promise. There are 4 other forms. There's going to be the C, which I call the 1st form, A, 2nd form, G, which is the 3rd form, E, which we talked about today, the 4th form, and D is the 5th form. It spells caged conveniently. I love that it spells a word. And when you get it all down, you have the power to play across the entire neck with 5 different shapes. But here's the beauty of what we're learning today. You could still just take that one form, the 4th form, and play in that one form and just move it around to whatever key you need. Now, the only disadvantage to not knowing all 5 forms today is that you're going to be stuck in that one spot when you're soloing. But what you could do today with just this lesson is you could say, you know what, I can solo and play scales over any key, major or minor now. Curiosity will make you want to learn the other forms. You'd be like, man, I don't want to just solo here all day. I want to be able to move back and utilize the entire neck for the solos. That's when you're going to want to fill in the knowledge with the other forms. And by the way, way, if you want to, on the website, I cover all 5 of them in depth, and I do backing tracks, and I do challenge solos and songs, so you have a little bit of something to play along to. So you're actually putting it into use right off the bat. So we'll see you at the website to learn the rest of this, but hopefully what I gave you today can suffice for a long time, because you really want to get to know the basics of this, which is just the one form, and then go from there. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and good luck with that. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.